most pastors' kids are not happy that they're in a pastor's family because everybody have some mindset about them. Just like you're saying, it's their major. It's none of their role. It's none of them. A proprietor of a school has children. It's not the major role of the children to come and teach in that school. If they offer to come and teach, we should appreciate them. Do you understand the mindset? So you begin to say it's their major role, you are still missing it. You are the one putting pressure on the pastor's kids. The pastor's kid has nothing to do with ministry. If he chooses to do ministry, we should appreciate it. Now, look through the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Which major man did God call? And any of these children has the major role to play in his ministry. From Genesis to Revelation.
Wow.
Sir, that reminds me. The story of Eli. When I was studying, though from what I could gather from what you're saying now is that there is no major role for a pastor's child to play.
In the pastor's ministry.
In the pastor's ministry.
Except he chooses to.
Except he chooses to. But regardless, from the story of Eli, I'm beginning to see that it is possible that there is no major role. But God is expecting them to set example. Their lifestyle should be godly. Though the major work still rests with the parent, because I saw that the failure of Ophni and Phinehas was as a result of the failure of Eli.
That's another problem. No. Let me clear that.
Okay.
The failure of Eli's children were the pressures that the society mounted on them. They were forced to be in the ministry. These guys didn't say they want to be in the ministry.
Which
the society expected that they should be in the ministry. You understand? So they were supposed to do something they were not cut out for. Now, as if you were a Levite, you could serve as a Levite and you are not supposed to fully be in the ministry if you don't choose to be in the ministry. But they were forced to do one thing, to do some of that. And it is in what they were now doing that they had issues. Because when you force a man to do what he does not want to do, he will do it the way he wants to do it. It may not please you. So if Ophni and Phinehas have been allowed to do what they wanted to do, maybe their lives would have been better. We're not talking about the lifestyle now. We're talking about the pressure that people put on them. So, because if I'm forced to head a school, and I am not interested in heading the school, what will happen to the school? It will collapse. So if I'm forced to be a pastor, and I don't have any feeling for pastoring, the church will collapse.
Which means, do we say now that the reasons why we're having issues, even in churches today, could be that some of these pastors' children that are forced to take up ministry, an assignment that they are not called for, could even be the reasons why some of them still fall at the end of the day.
Go and check the history of the world. Apart from one or two, there is no major minister who died, who handed over the ministry to the son, whose name became greater than his father's. Check in it, apart from one or two, that I don't want to mention publicly. That the ministry became greater than his father. Because the anointing on the father is different from the anointing on the son. If the son just said, let me keep this going like a family business, he will keep it going and to run like a family business. But it's grace that differentiates. If the grace on the father is not on the son, he can't take it to the level the father is taking it to.
Wow.
I think you need to say something to our viewers before we move to the other challenges of the pastor's case.
Yes. To all our viewers out there, please let your question come in. Please. I believe it's really hot here, and we are getting to discover so many things. There are so many issues just coming out that I believe that the reason why some of these pastors' kids are going through what they are going through is because of the pressure you and I out there are really mounting on them, and unrealistic expectation that we put so much on them, expecting them to be this or that. Please let your question come in so that we can really dig deep into this topic of today, and I trust that you are blessed. Let your question come in on all our platforms, on our YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Please let your question come in. We are ready to answer your question, and trust me, Pastor Sam is in the house to do justice to all your questions. Thank you.
So, sir, you stopped at the second challenge. That is the unrealistic expectation. So, we'd like you to move to the third, and let's hear from you.
I spoke about the unrealistic expectation. I spoke about the constant change of friends.
Yeah.
The third major challenge of a pastor's kid is low-key social life. Low-key social life. So many people expect that because you're a pastor's kid, you can't listen to Wizkid. You can't play Davido. You can't wear some clothes. Some people expect that if they pick the phone of a pastor's kids
The
that the only
ringtone.
song you should see there is a Don Juan, is a Kirk Franklin,
Travis
and,
Green.
and once they see anything different from
Outside,
that, he has
yes.
offended them. Very low-key social life, and put them under that kind of pressure too. So low-key social life. And another major one, a major challenge of a pastor's kid is
Sir, I would like to ask a question on that low-key social life. I remember there was a day I love dancing. I actually had a problem dancing.
okay.
So I was walking on the road with my, let me say, boyfriend.
Okay.
And I just heard this music along the road. Trust me, I just started dancing. I didn't know that a church member
Was coming behind.
was watching me. And all the way, he just went to my parents. I just saw your child. You needed to see the way she was dancing.
That is it.
And my parents called me, they scolded me. Now, I was tutored in the way of God. But along the line, I came home and I told my parents one day that, Mommy, if whatever I'm doing today is not as a result of the way you brought me, it's as a result of me having an encounter with God outside your sphere, outside your influence. Well, later on, I began to realize that this low-key social life, if you have an encounter with God, you will know that you need to balance it. So I am thinking, because I do not want to be under the pressure of the society or church members, I want to live beyond or outside the shadow of my parents. Should it make me as a pastor's child? I'm just saying, it's a challenge we're discussing. Just plunge into the society, you know, the way the way the worldly people express themselves. Okay. Should it make me as a child of God or as a pastor's child? Because I don't want to be under any kind of pressure.
Okay. I got you.
Okay,
See,
sir.
we're not saying the pastor's kid should not live like a Christian.
Yeah.
He should begin to live like an unbeliever.
Okay.
There is a way a believer should live his life.
Okay.
There's a way a Christian should live. If the pastor's kid meets the expectation of a Christian, let's not put him under bigger body. Okay. If an average Christian can hear that same song and just shake his body on the road, why shouldn't the pastor's kid? Has he offended God? No. If it's allowed for any Christian, it should be allowed for him. Let's not put him under stricter rules than everybody. That's what I mean by the local social life. Okay. No, you are danced, your mother scolded you, but you know, the person who reported you to your parents, will his child dance at that same time? If his child will dance and he will not scold his child, that's hypocritical. That's putting the pastor's kid under serious pressure. That's low-key social life. Okay. In some quarters, the pastor's kid cannot dress trendy. I'm not saying sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy can be worldly.
Yes.
But trendy means it's what is in vogue. Yeah. The pastor's kid must dress like his great-grandmother dressed in 1922 because the pastor's kid. But every other person in church can dress normally. Something happened to me while I was a little younger. I think I was 14 then, and then I went to a boarding house, we were on holiday, and then one of our friends, was a family friend, was celebrating her 14th birthday. So all of us decided to go, all of our friends. And then, unfortunately for me, my parents too decided to go. So I went, I wore jeans, I wore top, and I was going. My mother said, "Where are you going that you're dressing like this? You want to follow me like this? To a party?" No, go out. It doesn't make sense. Wow. So I talk about the neglected, unappreciated sacrifices of a pastor's kid.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I think there's still a whole lot of questions we want to ask from you. And I want to go to the parents now, the parents of these kids, which are the pastors.
Before you talk about the parents, one major challenge of the pastor's kid comes from the parents. I call it the negative influence of the parents. So many pastors live a dual life. So it's possible
for a pastor to have a negative influence on the children.
Because that's where I'm going.
It happens 1,001 times. You have pastors who are God-fearing, and then once their life mistakenly falls into error, and then this child sees them. For example, a pastor is sharing a testimony of something that happened, and the son knows the real story. And the pastor decided to amplify the testimony a bit. A woman came to my house. She's been barren for 25 years. And the son was there when the woman came. The woman is only barren for 2 years. She says, be barren for 25, and I prayed for her. That same month, the woman got conceived, you know. But the woman did not conceive until 4 months later. Now, the whole church will appreciate and clap. But the pastor's kid is there looking at what you are teaching him is that this is what ministry is all about. This is about deception. It's about lying to the people. You know, negative parental influence could be pastors are very nice in church. He smiles to everybody, loves everybody. A small child runs across and mistakenly steps on him, and the child will say sorry, say don't worry, don't worry. But his child mistakenly steps on him and he screams, what are you doing? Can't you see me? Don't you know? You know, he's on, and he looks at this father. His father is a
dual personality.
So everybody in church is a nice one. In fact, there was a joke that of a pastor who died, and during his burial, the person was reciting, the biography was saying, it's a nice man, does not shout, does not do this, raining all of the accolades on the bereaved, and then everybody was clapping. Then the son told the mother, I will show it's our father that is in that casket. Because they didn't believe that everything that the man was in the church, it could be in real life. It was not the same thing at all. So negative parental influence, that is very key. You know? And I'll add one more before you ask a question. Another one is that pastors' kids have they hear negative reports from the church. You know, every bad thing anybody does in church that gets to the pastor's hearing, and the pastor's wife hears about it, is discussed at the dining table, and the children hear at home, and they're not supposed to talk about it in church. He hears about the deacon who beat his wife. He hears about the one who stole the church offering. And he hears everything. And he's supposed to see the person in church on Sunday and smile at him and pretend that all is well. You understand? He's under pressure to keep secrets that are beyond his age. And he must not voice out. And this same boy will do one small thing. And the same deacon that knows all of his story will be the first one to crucify him. And he can't open his mouth and challenge him and say, but you slept with your secretary last week and my father knew about it. He can't challenge that person.
That was one of the reasons. While I was growing up, I used to sing. And, you know, we'll go for choir practice and all the rest. Maybe children's. And I was receiving a lot of, how will I put it, castigations, let me put it that way, from church members. And at the point, that was what made me say, in my life, I don't want to have anything to do with being a chorister or having anything to do with, that was one of the reasons why I even left the church in the first place, because I wasn't happy. A lot of castigation. And at the long run, as time began to unfold, their children were worse.
It's always
even
like
then,
that.
I that was being castigated, I have a better life with that. Now when I see those children, I'm like, but Pastor Lagwaja, Brother Lagwaja's blah blah blah, and I'm like,
it's
God
always the case.
And I'm like,
it's always the case. Most people who put pastors' kids under pressure, their children don't even do as much as the pastor's kid lives a holy life. It's always the case.
Oh, thank you very much,
so
sir.
before you move to the next challenge, I don't know if
you was going to say something about it.
Yes, at the moment I'm having challenge to access the Facebook so that I can get their questions, but we still have to continue. So I want to ask this. It's obvious now that even the parents, which are the pastors, even have influence, negative influence on even the kids, mounting pressures on them and their perception about them. Now, I believe for those ones, to correct that, for what would be your word for these parents? What's their role to helping their kids in coming out of all this pressure?
I could fill a 300 pages book with the question now. The answer to your question.
Just give us.
I would like, before Pastor Sam, before you go ahead and tell us how parents should overcome or help the children in overcoming these challenges, I'd like you to just give us highlights, because you said something that you have 10 challenges you intend to discuss with us, and from time now, I think we've just been able to discuss 5. Six. Okay, I'd like you to give us highlights on the remaining 4, then we can move to how the parents can help the children in overcoming these challenges and being able to raise a balanced child without putting them on any kind of pressure. So I'd like you to give us highlights on this remaining 4 challenges you have, then.
Another one is sermonizing the pastor's kids.
Okay.
As in, a pastor is supposed to have early morning prayer meeting, family altar, and all of that, you know. And in most families, in most pastors' family, if it happens that one of the pastor's child offends yesterday. This morning's devotion, the Bible verse you are going to read on that day will be to preach about that boy. And you highlight all the problem, and you are not calling his name, you are just preaching. But everybody at home knows who you are preaching about. And you are saying, see what the Bible says about you. I don't have problem with correcting your child when he's wrong. But I have problem when your child becomes the message for every day. Even pastors don't do that in church. That somebody keeps a secret with you and get to the altar the next day, you are preaching against that person. The person will walk out of the church. But because he's a pastor's child, he can't walk out of the pastor's family. I know at times it runs like that for 2-3 days. Everybody knows who daddy is preaching about, but daddy doesn't mention him. That's one serious pressure we'll put them on. We will make them look very bad. Another one is parental time denied. Parental time denied.
That's even an issue for me.
Most pastors, kid, if you ask them, will you be a pastor? Most of them are likely to say no.
You know. Yeah.
And one major problem is because they don't have access to their father. Their whole time is the father's whole time is taken by the church. Most professionals have time limit when they work. You go to work 8 o'clock, you come back 5 or 6 or 7. Pastors don't have time limit. The man in the house and the woman in their house, who when things are sweet, can feed themselves and enjoy themselves. They're calling the pastor and saying, we're enjoying ourselves. When they have a little argument at 11:30 p.m., they will call the pastor. And at times they expect the pastor to leave his family at 11:30 p.m. to come and attend to their family issues. When they were kissing themselves, they won't call the pastor. Now they are fighting, they will call the pastor. And the man will walk out of his family, leave his children alone to come and attend. He may not come back till 12:31. How many people in business go to vigils almost every night? But a pastor is meant to go to vigil almost every time. There's national vigil, there's state vigil, there's regional vigil, there's provincial vigil, there's departmental vigil, there's unit vigil, there's all of those vigils. In 365 days, count how many times he sleeps at home, if he even sleeps at home at all. You understand? The parents don't have access, the children don't have access to their parents. Somebody has a problem, he calls the pastor runs to the place to attend to it. A child who lives in the pastor's house has a problem, says, Daddy, I want to see you. Daddy says, I'm busy. We can talk about your one till later. And that letter may not come in 2-3 weeks ago, 3 weeks time. That's one of the problems of the pastor's kid. Can I mention now?
So I would like you from there, I would like you to tell us, how do you think the parents can help the children in overcoming these challenges? How they can raise a balanced child in this society and shield them from every form of societal pressure, whether from friends, whether from families, or even church members. How do you think? How I would like you to, in few words, be able to...
In few words, raise your children as believers, not as pastors' kids. Don't put them under the pressure of being a pastor's child. Just raise them as a good Christian. Most pastors' children are strong pastors' kids and very poor believers. They are strong pastors' kids. The facade that the people want to see, they give it to them. But the relationship with God is not there. That's why you discover that most times when they are free, they just do whatever they want to. You know, give them liberty to be free as a Christian. You know, there is a line between being a Christian and being an unbeliever. Don't let them cross that line. But there's another line between being a Christian and being a pastor's kid. Leave the pastor's kid out of it. Once they are good Christians, they will naturally grow to be very strong pastor's kid. Because it's God that determines the strong pastor's kid and not me.
Thank you very much. So for those of us out there, thank you. You might be thinking you are not a pastor's kid, but you know one or two out there that might be going through one or two of the challenges that we have been able to discuss so far. Please help and reach out to some of these people, and you can do them a favor by just link them to this program, let them be a part of it so that they can learn one or two things and they can help their life and their destiny. I have a question here or a comment. Somebody said, to whom much is given, much is expected. Pastors' kids are believed to be drinking right from the source.
Who believed it? Is it the Bible or the people who are putting them under pressure?
All right, let me finish that. Okay, and therefore should be above board. Unfortunately, this is not the case.
Okay. The problem is that there's what you believe. Okay. What you believe is not what the Bible...
Train your child in the way of the Lord.
Train your child, whether you're a pastor or not.
In the way of the Lord.